Welcome to Module 2, Eat Well to Feel Well. Hi, I'm Anna Marcos, one of the nutritionists in this program, and I'm here as a guide for you to bring nourishment to your body, mind, and spirit, help you tune into your inner wisdom, and ultimately help you facilitate your body's natural ability to heal and restore balance so that you can move through life with power, grace, and ease. I've been with Dr. Chu since 2019. As I was completing my graduate studies in integrative functional nutrition, I needed to do an internship, and that's how I came across conscious medicine and Dr. Chu. And I'm so grateful to be working with her and working with our team and be with all of you here today, where I get to use all of my training that started in 1999 with meditation, and then from there I started studying traditional Chinese medicine and Chinese energetic medicine, also known as medical qigong. And then when I became a mom in 2010, I decided to move into advanced neuromuscular massage therapy, which I currently also practice in addition to being a nutritionist. And I get to use all of the traditional Chinese medicine principles in everything that I do. And I also teach yoga. I'm also a mom, a wife, a friend, and a connector of people, a connector of all the things that are going on in our bodies and how it relates to our environment. I like connecting everything. It's like putting puzzle pieces together. In the next video, you're going to meet Danielle. She's also a nutritionist. She has her master's in clinical nutrition, and she's a certified nutrition specialist. She is committed to empowering you with the agency to make informed nutritional choices that tailor to your unique needs and promote your overall well-being. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's one of my favorite nutritionists, aka she's also a functional foodie. I'll let her share more about that. She makes food fun for me, which, when you learn all the things we learn about nutrition and food and what to eat and what not to eat, I love her posts because she just does it in such a fun way. All right, so in this module, our intention is to provide you with the resources, tools, and support you need to powerfully implement and complete the Restoration Elimination Diet. We're going to explore food as medicine, food as information, and food as connection. And when you complete this food plan, you will have a new relationship with food, and you will be able to identify food triggers and know how to use food to support a healthy gut microbiome. Let's quickly go over the tools to set yourself up powerfully. So as we go through this video and in future videos, make sure you have your checklist, your workbook, your food plan, the 6-week meal plan, recipes, and grocery lists nearby to refer to. As myself and Danielle are going to refer to a lot of things, especially when you get into the details of the food plan. All right, so first thing I'm going to have you grab is, if you don't have it in front of you, pull up the workbook, hit pause, pull up the workbook. All right. And let's look at, go to page 2 or 2 to 3 in your workbook. We're going to take a moment to look at what is your current relationship to food. And I'm going to read the questions in the workbook and give you a few minutes to answer or jot down some thoughts. I invite you to really just take a look and see what your current relationship is and see how that transforms throughout the next 6 weeks. So let's look at the first question. What emotions do I typically experience before, during, and after eating? Have you ever been upset right before dinner, or feeling stressed right before dinner? Like, what's that like for you? Is it different for when you're working and you're having lunch, and then when you get home and you're having dinner? Next question. Do I often eat when I'm not physically hungry? If so, what emotions or situations usually lead to this behavior? So for me, it's usually when I'm bored and I just start eating and snacking and not really thinking about what I'm doing. Um, and then I notice after, like, I feel full. The next question. In what ways do my eating habits change in response to stress or major life events? And the last question. Do I use food as a reward or a way to cope with difficult emotions? So just take a few minutes to jot down a few thoughts, reflect on these questions, hit pause. All right. When we look at restoring the gut terrain, and we look at this elimination diet, the main things we're looking at in terms of the 5 R's, which is remove, replace, reinoculate, repair, and rebalance. There are two main ones. Here we're going to look at remove and replace. All right. So in terms of removing foods, we're going to remove the foods that are known to cause inflammation in the body, known to cause or increase toxic burden on the body. And in a moment, we're going to go through a list of what those foods are going to be. And with the foods that we are removing, we're going to replace them with foods that are known to help heal the gut. So foods that are rich in phytonutrients. This includes foods rich in vitamins, minerals, enzymes, bile salts, which are all needed to help heal the gut and support a healthy gut microbiome. We also want to make sure in this diet that you're getting enough of these nutrients. So oftentimes when we look at different diets, we generally know what we shouldn't be eating, right? And often the miss is how much of the nutrients do we really need? How many servings of non-starchy vegetables do we really need? And when Danielle goes through the food plan, you'll be surprised at the amount of non-starchy vegetable servings that are recommended relative to generally how much we eat, which for most people it's about 2 to 3 servings, if that. The other part of this restoration elimination diet is being able to identify food triggers and really just uh, become more aware of how our body responds to food. So for 21 days, we're going to eliminate the foods that are known to cause inflammation in the body, known to increase toxic burden on the body. And then on day 22, we will start what we call the reintroduction phase, and that will go into more detail in Module 6. All right, so let's look at the foods known to cause inflammation. So if you're taking notes, this is a good one to take note of. In this diet, we're going to eliminate gluten, dairy, soy, fast foods, fried foods, processed foods, artificial sweeteners, coffee, yes, coffee, and alcohol. So that's the general list. When you get to the food plan, there's some additional foods in there that you're also going to be eliminating. When we look at foods to heal the gut, I mentioned earlier about reducing toxic burden on the body, and making sure that you're getting enough of the phytonutrients you need to heal your gut. One of the things we invite you to practice in the next 6 weeks is to eat a rainbow color of foods. Like, obviously, you don't have to have every color on your plate, but the more diverse colors you have on your plate, the more diverse your gut microbiome will be. I mentioned earlier the importance of servings for each of these food categories. So in this food plan, we're not looking at calories, we're just focusing on servings. We want to make sure that your body is getting enough of the nutrients you need to be able to heal your gut. All right, so earlier I said no artificial sweeteners. You are allowed to have natural sweeteners. A few examples here: pure maple syrup, honey, coconut sugar, stevia you can have also. The main thing to consider here: no more than 3 teaspoons daily of all of the natural sugars combined. All right, and as I mentioned, the last feature of this elimination diet is to be able to identify and eliminate trigger foods. And again, that will happen during the reintroduction phase. So day 22 is when that starts, and in module 6 we'll go into detail about how to do the reintroduction phase. I invite you, as you go through video 2 with Danielle, there's going to be a list of additional foods that we're going to eliminate. So start writing your list as we go through, and so that way when we get to the reintroduction phase, you already have a list of foods that you're going to want to test. And this list may be the main list that we went over: gluten, dairy, soy, that list. And it may also include foods that are known to be considered to be healthy. But if you're dealing with certain symptoms, there might be some high histamine foods, some nightshades, some fermented foods that Danielle will talk more about in video 2 that you might want to consider eliminating as well, so that you can test it in the reintroduction phase to see if you do have any existing food sensitivities. What's really great about the reintroduction phase and being able to see how your body responds to food is that if you discover that you do have food sensitivities, those can be addressed. So the more balanced your gut microbiome is, the more likely these food sensitivities will disappear. All right, so let's get to work. Remember the things you're going to need: your gut health restoration workbook, your food plan, the 6-week meal plan, recipe guide, and grocery list. That's all in one file. Something to write with, and a quiet room for you to go into the next video. And before you do that, I want you to take a moment to imagine yourself at day 21. Take a deep breath, and then a woohoo! You successfully completed this food plan. And maybe the first week wasn't so easy, and then by the second week, you started to feel clear, have more energy, and now in the third week, you're noticing your symptoms have reduced. You feel light, you feel energized, you feel clear. You made it. You made it through. Just feel all the feels. Imagine what it's going to be like to complete this powerfully. You got this.